making hits like that. So I think the song she recently came out with about the independent women, I think that she knew what that was going to do. It's kind of stirred up some people with that song. But then with this, it's like she's bored. She's married to Russell. Russell's a cool guy. He's a good guy, but it's nothing really exciting for her in this relationship. So she's testing those limits. And for her to be able to get away with this is amazing to me because I wish my wife would. She was showing too much skin. It's like why? That's the question. Why? You have other options. It wasn't like this is the only dress that you could wear for this event. You chose this dress. So in this situation, and it kind of goes to the whole, the loving of your husband more than they love you type of thing. But it's like, okay, who has the dominant control here? Because as a man, I think any man will speak up in this situation. If you're married to her, like if it's a woman you just taken to an award show, a random, okay, fine. This is your wife. This is a representation of you and your house and your family. You don't want her out there like that. You're not gonna let that slide. So for me, I think it was in bad taste. I think that she didn't consider how Russell would feel about it, and I don't think that he was 100% down for this. If he caved, he just caved, but he wasn't 100% down for this. I just can't see it.
Sam, what do you think about this situation with Ciara? Like, Ciara's shown a bit of skin. At the Oscars, like, do you think it was? What's your opinion on this? Do you think it's too much? Do you think it's just her being an entertainer? Do you feel like Russell's quote unquote being a simp? They might say, but like, what's your viewpoints to the situation for you from your perspective?
Hi everyone, hi Kojo. So the Ciara thing, if her husband was okay with it, I think it was not a disrespect to him if he was okay with him. But I do think he needs to be worried because she can wear what she wants, but she was showing a lot, like almost everything. And because, I'm not judging her or anything, but I just don't know what type of men would want their wives to show that much. I'm just saying. So I don't really know what those people are about, but something is weird down there. I heard a little bit of what Curry said, saying that she's bored. I don't think she's not only bored, she wants attention. And that's a problem. I mean, she's not only bored, she wants attention. Like, she wants people to speak. And at this point, she's willing to do a lot to make people speak. That's my opinion. I love Ciara. She's very talented. But as a married woman, especially that her husband is known to be like, Christian, he talks about God a lot, a certain way because of the image that he has. I'm even surprised that he's okay with it. So.
You know what? People look at the body in a lot of different ways. People look at it as something sacred, like this should be covered. Look at it like it's just flesh, it's just skin. So I can show it to whoever I want to show it to. It's not a big deal. As long as I'm not being intimate with someone, what's the big deal? But to me, it's just something about that, man. I think that Russell okaying this says a lot about him as a man. We're talking about what you will and what you won't allow. You opening the door to other things happening because it goes inch by inch. Let me get a little bit away with this. Let me get away with this. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So we're not going to hear the end of this. It's going to be more to come out for her if he keeps saying yes all the time. And I don't care if Russell said yes to her wearing the dress. I'm talking about her frame of mind. Why would she want to wear the dress? That's a bigger picture for me. Why do you want to wear this particular dress to this particular event? So I would love to hear that.
I mean, I also don't want to be an hypocrite, right? Like, we see a lot of women wearing bathing suit and we're showing a lot out there, so even though I do have my opinion, let's not be hypocrite. Like, she could have been at the beach wearing a swimsuit with a thong, and nobody would have thought it's weird because she's at the beach. So I'm also
Yeah,
saying, like, let's not be hypocrite about the situation either.
nah, that's not even really about being a hypocrite. And I love when that argument comes up as far as like it's the same as a bra and panties, or it's the same as a bathing suit, or it's the same. It's a little bit different. It's a time and a place. So if she had a bikini on at the beach, that's understood. She's at a beach, you
But
know.
for us, the
But
motive is the
before
same.
Oscar red carpet, that's not what you will wear. That's not something that you will present how you present yourself. Now I do know there are other women out here, other celebrities out here who wear less on a daily basis, on a nightly basis, because that's what they do. But I think that there should be some level of understanding between husband and wife. Now, if this was her 100% of the time, it wouldn't be a surprise to everyone. But we've all seen her post pictures with her and Russell fully dressed in a nice long gown, everything covered up, looking classy, looking elegant, and then boom, now this happens. So I think that's what it is. It's the shock that she's doing this because she doesn't normally dress this way in public with Russell. So I think that's the big thing for me.
Mm, okay. Trey, what do you think?
Evening, people. Evening.
What are you telling me, bro? Talking about the Sierra situation for a little bit before we go into the main topic. But yeah, what's your thoughts on this, man?
Um, at first I didn't have many thoughts on it. I was just like, okay, she's not the first woman or person to dress risque for
Mm.
some type of event or award show. Probably won't be the last. Um, my overall thought, I mean, ultimately, if her husband is okay with it, then what are we talking about? Would we probably want our wives, or if you were his wife, would you do it? Yeah, that's a different question. You know, it seems like the consensus is, ooh, probably not. You know, but he seemed to be fine with it. But then again, I mean, well, to play a little devil's advocate, he seems to be fine with just about anything she does. But that's just him. So I'm not in his mindset. I don't know what really he values when it comes to her. But I'm quite sure, knowing Ciara over the years, I'm quite sure she showed him the dress first. So, hey, baby, I'm thinking about wearing this. What you think? I'm quite sure she did that. And you have to say yay or nay. It look like he say yay. So,
Got a question for you, Trey.
go ahead.
Trey, would you let your wife wear this dress, bro?
We got to have a discussion.
No,
Okay,
no, no, no.
let's
No,
talk
no
about this.
discussion. No discussion. She
Let's
just
talk about this.
she has the dress and then she brings
Let's
it
talk
out
about this.
and she said, "Babe, I want to wear this dress." Well, what are your thoughts on that? What would you
Well,
say?
my first thought is, like I said, I have to ask some questions because, first off, what type of wife am I marrying in the first place? Is really what we're talking about. If this is already part of her personality, this is just part of who she is. I knew that before we got married. That's my job to find that out and make sure I'm okay with that. Number one. Now, if all of a sudden this is something new, she just all of a sudden want to break up. Hey, I'm thinking about doing this. I'm like, no, I need to figure out what's going on. Why are we doing this? Like, where is this coming from? Because this has not been you during the whole time I've known you. If this is something new, but we definitely gonna discuss it. And honestly, if ultimately I feel bad about it or negative or I got an issue with it, yes, I'm be like, you know what, baby, I'm not comfortable with this. I'm gonna ask you, please, to wear a different dress. Now, if she butts against that or has an opinion against that, then that's a wholly different discussion we're gonna have to have.
Yeah, yeah, you good, bro. You are good. I will tell you that. But for me, there is no discussion. The answer is no, straight up no. And the thing about it is that the reason why I have an issue with this because it's we're in a world right now where people look at things and try to imitate things. So now we're going to have young ladies going out here thinking it's okay to dress this way, and when they go to their husband and have this conversation, as you put it, and the husband says no, well, Russell Wilson let his wife do it. I don't understand why I can't do it. She's a celebrity and she can do it. Like that will be the conversation. And I'm not saying this is 100% of the women before the comments come for me. There is a demographic of women who will look at what they see and try to imitate what they see. So that's why this can be damaging. Same thing for men. It's damaging to men as well. For Russell to say he's okay with this does not automatically mean it's okay. Does not mean that it's right. We're talking about the mindset of a man. We're talking about the mindset of a husband being the leader and head of his household, what he will allow and what he will not allow. Just because you allow your woman to run rampant and do whatever she wants to do, does that make you a good leader? Does that make you a good husband? No, it doesn't. There are certain things you have to say yes to. There's certain things you will say no to. So that's the mindset that I'm talking about right now, is that for Russell Wilson to give the okay, that makes it worse. So if she just did on her own free will, one thing that's a bad thing too. But if Russell said, okay, baby, yeah, wear that, you're gonna kill him with that tonight. How much do you value your queen? I'm gonna tell you like this. For me, you're not going to embarrass me. I'm not going to embarrass you. That's what it boils down to. So we're going to have respect for each other in this family, and you're going to have respect for each other, for me and this family, in this household, in this relationship, in this marriage. So for me, it's not even a discussion. But again, that will be the woman that I marry. That's one woman out of hundreds of billions, of people that's out here. So that's me. All I need is one. So I don't need everyone to agree or to disagree with me on this. I just need that one woman to agree. So for me, it's a difference between when you're dating versus when you're in a marriage. There is something, it's a light that switches. You cannot be the same person throughout. Otherwise, if you want to have that single lifestyle, stay single. If you want to dress like a single woman, stay single. That's all I'm saying. But to me, it's no way I will allow this to go down. It's no way. And I did say the word allow. I will not allow this to go down because my woman is a representation of me. And I don't see myself like that. So that's where I'm at.
Well, I'm sorry, Coach.
No, if you want to, you can respond. I don't know. You can respond. I haven't said anything.
Well, Cody, that was my point. All of this is going to be prefacing of who you are and who you choose to be with. Now, to your point, because I agree with you. If you have a certain value system and you see things a certain type of way, it behooves you to find a partner that at least y'all are aligned on those same value systems. So issues like this won't even come up. It may still pop up from time to time, but y'all are still on the same page. Now, to what you said earlier about what you say? Oh, you gave the example, right?
Uh-huh.
You gave the example, if other women see Ciara wearing this now, they want to wear it. What do you do? I mean, my first response to that is like, wait a minute. First of all, we're not celebrities. You ain't Ciara. I'm not Russell Wilson. So why are you trying to be like her in the first place? But then that's going to circle you right back around to the person you married or the person you're with and what y'all value. It's going to lead you right back to the same circle. Yeah, would I have an issue if it was my wife? We would have to talk about it. Yeah, like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? But that's not my wife. That's Russell Wilson's wife. And if he's okay with it, ain't too much I can say. I'm not her daddy.
Okay. So yeah, go ahead. Coach. Go ahead.
Do you know what? I have mixed feelings about the situation. And I'll tell you why I'm having mixed feelings. I'm more leaning on the side of I think you see it and you get a shock more because of the context of the environment that they're in, right? Like I went through some of the Oscar pictures of people's dresses, yeah, and a lot of people weren't dressed like that. just got to be honest, a lot of people were not dressed like that. Like some of the married couples that were there, I saw Idris Elba and a few others, they weren't dressed like that. You know what I mean? So I guess obviously for me, the context maybe is more of a shock, right? Because if I see Ciara with this thing on the beach, I might have less of an apprehension, but I'll still have some apprehension. Here's my only apprehension: I see titties. That's my apprehension. That's my only. I'm genuinely serious. If she wore something underneath where we couldn't see the nipples and stuff like that, I would have been like, all right, cool. But I see titties. It's practically, you know what I mean? That for me is a. I know Rihanna's done it as well, and we can have a discussion about it another time. But it's like, I think, and this is the only unfortunate part of this situation. This is giving me Megan Good and Devin Franklin all over again discussion. That in the situation, it's unfortunate. I don't want to say unfortunate, but I want to say that because also the way that the way they said, obviously, because like I don't know if you guys saw it. There's another video that was a bit like they were in the prison worshiping God and worshiping Jesus, and then they kind of shoot to this video where she's naked on the red carpet. I think people see that difference, and it's annoying for a lot of people. And you know, that old argument again about Christians not holding up to the truth comes into play. And I think again, it's for me specifically, it's about context. Because I was just literally on Instagram, and I just saw a girl who's in a bathing suit on the sand. I scrolled past it like it was nothing. I just like, oh, she's in a bathing suit, she's on the sand. I didn't even look at it anyway. But every time I look at this picture with Ciara, I'm like, it's like, it's a little bit, for me, it's just a little bit too much for me. You know, and I think I want to be fair, right? So I want to say that Ciara has always dressed a little bit sexy. She likes to dangle a leg piece out. You know, she like a little shoulder. You understand? She like a little one off the shoulder thing. She's always dressed classy and sexy. This is giving boudoir. This is giving.
There you go.
It's giving masseuse. It's giving seduction. I'm gonna seduce somebody today. Not really the class that she normally oozes. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that's where people's also reactions are a bit like, this is a bit too much. You know what I mean? And again, it's the context of where I see this very thing. I'm not saying again that, you know what, if your relationship with Jesus Christ is your relationship with Jesus Christ, whether you enter heaven or not, that ain't in discussion. But I'm going to say, though, just because obviously that other people are going to have a comment, they're going to say something, this context of this particular photo that I'm looking at, I'm like, ooh, you know what I mean? So listen, if she, and I guess obviously context of time, she's got music she's trying to bring out, you know, as well. And, you know, she already was in the news for the whole independent song situation. I think people are expecting her to like go and be this Christian woman now. Like, you know, tame it back a little bit, sis. Like what you were doing before, tame it back. It's like, you know, bring it back a little bit. I think that's what people are expecting from Ciara now. Now she's dating and married. Sorry, now she's married to quote unquote this, you know, pious kind of Christian man, Russel Wilson, who doesn't have that kind of reputation. He doesn't have a salacious reputation. Do you know what I mean? So it's almost as if it's like, oh, okay, this person didn't really have a salacious kind of persona, but his wife has come in and she started dressed. And the thing that people are going to be really sus about and they're going to watch, and I understand where you're coming from, Corey, is that when she first came and when she first came with Russell, she kept it sleek and she kept it sexy. And it's now looking like, sis, you're now starting to unravel. You've been shaking your ass, twerking on the ground. Now you're showing a boudoir dress. People might be thinking, is she going back to what she really actually is? Which is similar to the Megan Good situation. Sometimes, and maybe I can take it from a different perspective, sometimes women like to choose men who are good, right? But when they actually have to now maintain, it can be very difficult because that's not your MO. You know what I mean? Russell's really kind of got that kind of I don't want to say boring look, but it's very simple.
Boy
You know what I
Scout.
mean?
Boy Scout.
Yeah, it's not. He's not giving you expansive. Do you know what I mean? He's not one of those people you thought to yourself when Russell dresses. You think to yourself, "This is a guy of fashion." You know what I mean? Then you'd be like, "Oh well, then Ciara's matching him with the fashion." He's not. He's really simple. So I think again, that's where maybe some people might be looking at it. You know what I mean? So again, it's giving that Megan Good situation all over again, where it's like you just wanted a husband, and then you chose a Christian guy. You're doing what the men do, which is like when we want to find a husband, find a wife, they go into the church. That's what people might be thinking. You know what I think? Go for it, Trey, and then Black. See Sean there.
My only questions when I saw it, the question that popped in my head was, why are you wearing this to the Oscars? That was my original question. Not all the rest is he okay with it, is whatever. Because like I said, obviously I think he saw it, he was okay with her leaving the house, whatever. But why at the Oscars? Like that's this type of dress never been kind of this is not an Oscar dress. That was weird to me. I was like, okay, this is strange, And then on top of that, I was about to say, to what you just said a few minutes ago, Coach, this is keep it all the way funky, just keep it real. This is future Ciara that we're seeing that's popping back up. This we saw some of this back in the day, and ain't nobody blinked the eye because she was in that type of situation where this might be normal.
She also was not married.
That's true. She was not married. Mark my words here today, guys, that it seems like she's reversing because I'm just throwing it out here, she may be done with this marriage. She may be heading out. I'm just, you gotta think about all of it. She may be done with this marriage and she's on her way out because she's reverting back to who she really is. So now, it's like, oh, what's going on here? And people say, it's their marriage and it's no one's business what they're doing. You're absolutely right. If you keep it in your house, once you make it public, once you put it out here for everyone to see and to judge, now everyone will have an opinion. So the whole narrative of it's their relationship, it's their marriage. You don't know what I do behind closed doors because I don't put it out there. But once I do that, if I ever were to do that, you have every right to throw your thoughts and your judgment at me, and that's where we're at right now. So that's why I say what I say. We didn't know what we was doing with Will and Jada either. We wouldn't know anything about August Alsina either if they kept that in the house, but they didn't. They made it public, so now everybody's talking about it. So when it comes to this is the same thing. So my thing is that with Ciara, she's going backwards. So usually when you're acting out, you're not happy with your current situation. So something you can think about too. Just throwing it out there.
Her husband may like what she's doing. Just FYI.
That's true.
Say again.
He may like it.
He may like it, but that's what I was saying though. He may like it, but it's creating a bigger problem. Okay, I'll give you an example of what I mean when I say it's creating a problem. Then I'll let you go, Sean.
I also want to say something.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Sam. Yeah. I'll let you go too. So when I say it's creating a bigger problem, is that when you go on social media right now, I'm sure the fellas can attest to this. You go on social media and you see every video. You see a video about cooking, but a woman on there is half naked. She's showing her behind. It has nothing to do with cooking. You got workout videos. Why is the angle always her behind that's facing the camera? It's a workout video. It could be a personal training video, whatever, but it's always showing certain areas of the body. Why is that? It was a big conversation a few years back. Oh, these IG girls are winning. These IG girls are winning. No one wants the regular woman anymore. Now those regular women are doing the exact thing now. So we have more and more content that's showing skin. Everything is showing skin now. It's tiring. Even for a black man, I'm telling you as a man, I'm tired of seeing it. If I click on something for something else, I don't have to see your body for me to buy into the product. or to be to buy into the service that you're offering. So you're selling yourself. I mean, some women out here are selling themselves by skin. And if that's what she's doing, if she has an album coming out, why can't her talent be enough? Why can't her vocals be enough? Why does she have to go to this route? And why is her husband allowing this to happen? So these are other questions and concerns that come up that can start a trend, an unwanted trend by men. Women will be okay with it because they live in their best life. But I'm talking about from a male perspective. We don't want this to become a trend that women feel like this is how it's going to be from now on. At the Oscars, and I made mention that before what Trey and Kojo said. I made mention of it before. It's a time and a place for everything. If she had this on at the beach, it'd be fine. So my thing is that keep your business inside of your house if you don't want me to say anything about it. But if you make it public and I disagree or agree, I got a right to speak on it. That's all.
I want to say something. I know I did say what I said, but I also said let's not be hypocrite. As far as what she wore, to you, Corey, is just a picture. You see a picture of her at the Oscar, you see a picture of her at the beach, she's still naked or she's still half naked. You still see the same thing. Let's not forget that. So let's not act like the context really matter when the finished result is the same. She's half naked or whatever. Kojo mentioned because you saw the titties. I mean, would you feel better if she had like those little dots on them? Would that change anything?
Fair, she actually had it on. I just double checked.
You know those little dots like Lil Kim?
She had a cover on the nipple. She had a nipple cover on.
Would that change
so
anything?
to be fair, yeah.
Does seeing the nipple change anything or not seeing them? Seriously?
It does. It does.
You can't even get away with that on normal TV.
Thing for me, but for me, I feel like it doesn't change that much anyway. But the finished result for us is that we're looking at pictures. A picture of Ciara in a two-piece, or she could have even been like in a thong at the beach or at the Oscar. Really, it could have maybe be weird for the people at the Oscar with her, but I'm pretty sure those people are used to that. But as for us, the audience, all we see is a picture. So really, that's why I kept on saying, let's not be hypocrite. People been doing that. They've been doing that. And that's it for me.
Yeah. I mean, look, if he likes it, I love it. But what I would say is that a lot of these paradigms, these situations, they just don't work out well long term, right? We look at Megan Good and we look at Devon Franklin, right? He was very, very supportive of her at the upfront, but it begins to wear thin. So some women will say, oh, he likes it. There's no man that likes that. He may tolerate it. He may feel in some senses of the word that he has no choice, but there's nobody that wants their wife to be on full display for the world like that. And meanwhile, 2 weeks ago, and listen, it's a very difficult line, but she was just up in the prison saying prayers, right? Invoking the Holy Spirit. And meanwhile, she got her, it's Nipplegate running around here, and the dress ain't got nothing. She's nothing on, showing all of her body. So, yeah, I just think that in a lot of these instances, you got to be careful, right? And look, a man desires a virtuous wife, right? So, yes, have we changed and evolved where women don't have to wear clothes, a dress down to their ankles? But no man wants to see their wife completely naked for the world. It's not going to feel good. And I think, hey, she can do whatever she wants to do. And if they can make their marriage work, go ahead. But guess what? People pedestalized Will Smith and Jada Pinkett 10 years ago. And there was some folks saying, don't look right to me. And then look what happens now. Just a crumbling. Because certain rules are in place for a reason, you know, and there's certain things that men need to do. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Men need to hold themselves up a certain way. And just like when men step out of line, y'all women are quick to call us, right? If a man's not holding his weight, if a man is being overly emotional, if a man is not working, right? If a man is not taking care of his family, if a man is doing too much, right? Overly aggressive, all those things, when men do it, they get called out. So when a woman goes to the extreme, it's a call out. Now, I don't know as much to say that she's planning on leaving him, but what I will say is that is done when you see that those overtly pushing the limits and the boundaries like that with that dress. It's for attention. She's looking for validation. She's looking for some level of attention outside of her home from the rest of the world. And that is a dangerous thing. When you start to look outwardly and you do things so far extreme to get attention, because there's no way, she's a very smart woman. You know, you're going to wear a net dress for the whole entire world to see at a major event. It's for attention. Those outfits, those dresses are created for attention. And we need to be careful of how much we crave that outside attention, because it creates a monster inside of us and we want more of it and more of it and more of it. So that's what I think.
That's a good point. I remember when I saw the picture, it surprised me. I was not expecting that dress at the Oscars, as I believe Trey has already said. Um, One thing I noticed is at first it seemed like nobody was really fussing about it. And I was surprised at that because I'm not sure who watches Love is Blind, but after the Ultra episodes aired, Alexa wore a similar dress. Alexa's, of course, a thicker woman, and I noticed that there was a lot of backlash for her. Then, of course, I started seeing the Ciara backlash and everything with the picture of her praying versus the picture of her in the dress, etc. My thing is this: I feel like it can be confusing. I know some people say she didn't ask to be a role model. Okay, maybe she didn't, but people still look up to her, especially with her being wife now to this new dude. The whole, Ciara's prayer, all these women on here praying to get their husbands, kind of following the leader, so to speak. People are looking up to her. As a result, it can be confusing, especially for younger women who maybe have not fully developed their own mindset on certain things about, okay, so I can do this and everything else to get a boyfriend or a husband, but then I have to be the church girl, but I have to still wear the super overt sexy things. It can be very confusing. It can be very frustrating. And I just don't think it was the wisest choice, even from a fashion point. If there was like a slip dress underneath that or a bodysuit or something underneath that, I would have liked the outfit a lot more, just from a purely fashion standpoint. I feel there was a little not enough going on. But it gives me vibes that maybe Ciara, maybe she feel like she's lost herself in her marriage. I wouldn't say she's done with the marriage. I'm worried that maybe she feel like she's lost her own identity, and this is a way of trying to reclaim herself before she was quote unquote Russell Wilson's wife and mom. Maybe a little bit of a midlife crisis going on. She still look good, but she's getting a little older up there in the years. It happens. I just hope it does not ruin her marriage if her marriage is really put together by God, as she says.
I hear you. Listen, I mean, it's like I said, I think I can see why everyone has different points. You know what I'm saying? I can see why the audience may feel like we're doing too much. I can also understand why the panel are also saying we might have to be cautious. I can understand why someone might say hypocrite. I think I can only talk from a personal point of view. It's not for me. That's what I'm going to say. I can say from a personal point of view, it ain't for me. I just think to myself that I think that dress for me was not something for the public. I think that's something that you wear in your bedroom. Okay, all right. Or you wear on the sandy shores or the waters that you're going in to get baptized in. Okay, no jokes. But that's you might wear that on the sandy shores. I like context more than anything. For me, I like context more than anything. Do you get what I'm saying? Right now, of course, uh, fashion is a very big thing in this particular world of Hollywood, right? So it's a very, very big thing. And so I think there are several layers that one could look at this situation, right? Because it, we can look at it from a dimension of saying, hey, we don't want to police women and their bodies, which I can understand. We can look at it from another level that, hey, you know what? If Russell likes it, who are we to judge? That's his wife. He likes it. We can also look at another level and say, we have seen men who have not been strong and their wives have done this, and what ends up happening is the thing comes to a whew, right? We can look at another level too and say from a more wider level, this could also be, and someone just actually put it there, I was going to say it could be propaganda. That this is also conditioning the audience to accept more risque, more sexual things happening on our screens and calling it normal, right? Which amplifies a sexual energy towards it. Because as Sam was saying, yes, listen, and again, this is quite interesting because this comes back to that conversation we have a lot of times where women say, "Do you like it?" Yes, I do, because I want to have sex with that person, nothing else. So you see, I'm not thinking about wife and Ciara when I see that dress. Let's be honest, right? So I'm not thinking about wife and her when I see that dress. But again, like I said, that's a level, and that's just another layer we can add on to it. We can say that it could be from another angle. Um, but again, I would say every person really not got, every person's got to look at their situation and say, is it for you? If it's not, all right, cool. We can put a warning out there for Russell because we have seen stuff like this happen to men, and it does go. You know what I mean? Say, hey, Russell, maybe I know if this is normally her, and you believe this to be her, this is normally her that you've had since the beginning. All right, cool. But continue upon your way. You understand? You know what I mean? If it's not, sir, you might want to start asking some real questions, and maybe both of you taking on a little bit of a journey to really discover each other against once more. You know what I mean? So I think there's levels to look at different things. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying it's one side or the other. I think there's levels to it. But me personally, it can't be me. Okay? Can't be me. No.
Okay. So also it puts us in a bad situation, Kojo. It puts men out here in a bad situation. Why do I say that? It's because when you see her, you have certain thoughts. And it is sinful to lust or envy another man's wife. So you going to put yourself out here dressing all half naked or naked in this the very sense of the word. And I'm not supposed to have these thoughts in my head. What about you? Okay, all right then. That's not good. But I just think it doesn't matter who it is. I don't care if you're a celebrity. I don't care if you're a regular person or whatever the case is. We're all people. Just because you have a certain status doesn't mean you're supposed to be able to get away with this, that, and the other. People mindsets make that happen, but it's not the way it's supposed to be. You're still held accountable. If you make your stuff public, it's gonna happen. People gonna judge you.
Okay. Black, I have to disagree just a little bit. I grew up
Just a little
Pentecostal.
now. Just a little.
Just a little bit. I grew up Pentecostal. I am a woman that has always been a bit curvier. My weight fluctuates, but even at my smallest, I was curvier. A man gonna look if a man want to look. I have been looking me in my Sunday clothes. That ain't about to change nothing. I can't agree on that one. And not only that, I hate to say it, I think it comes down a little bit to a double standard, which is why I brought up Alexa. The people didn't jump on Ciara as quick. It took a minute for it to start, and I think part of that is because Ciara is a thinner woman. When Lizzo wore a dress similar to that, they hopped on that immediately. When Alexa wore a dress similar to that on The Love Is Blind, hopped on it immediately. There have been times I've worn things that was approved by the leader of whatever organization I was a part of, but because of my body type, someone else had something to say. And then the thinner girl had on something shorter and tighter than me, but nothing was said to the thinner girl. So if we're going to set the rules, we do have to be fair, which is why I took a minute to comment on Ciara, because it's like, well, wait a minute. If we say with Alexa, she should have just had on some different bottoms or a bodysuit or something, the same should go for Ciara. I don't care if you weigh 500 pounds or you a size 6. The rules should be the same.
Who is Alexa?
The plus size girl from Love Is Blind. She had on a dress very similar to Ciara's in the After the Altar episode for her birthday party. It caused some stuff online because like Ciara, she had on the thong underwear,
Yeah.
and etc., see-through dress, very similar to Ciara's, to the point that it kind of threw me when I saw it. I'm like, Ciara's wearing this too? What is going on? But my thing is, we have to be fair. Men are gonna look if they're gonna look. I can have on a pillowcase. Certain men are gonna look at me because of the way I'm built. That's just the facts of the matter.
Yeah, but we don't need any assistance in that. Like if a man is a man who's walking a certain way in his life and he's not trying to do that, we don't need the assistance of a married woman to push us in that direction. If he's the type of person that's going to look, that's going to be on him. In the end of that's going to be on him. But we don't need that assistance from women to do that. That's all I'm saying.
And trust me, those people got comments, and Lizzo gets comments all the time. But Lizzo don't care. Just like she showed up to the Lakers game with a thong on. I don't know if that's what you were referencing. And
now, I was referencing a purple see-through dress she had on, where she had on the undies, and it was similar to Ciara, the see-through dresses. That's been trending for the last couple of years.
Most men definitely. You can scan YouTube and put in Lizzo, and you'll see all the people that do not enjoy seeing her dress scantily clad either.
No, I agree with that. What I was saying was that when the Ciara picture went out, it took a good day or so for the controversy to start bubbling. Whereas when the heavier women did it, it was immediate. It was immediate. No questions. No defending. No, maybe her husband likes it. It was we don't want to see that. It got shot down immediately. Whereas Ciara, I felt like people wanted to say something, but they were not sure because it was Ciara. Then when the picture came out of her praying and stuff, it's like, okay, we can say nothing now. Bow.
No, I think the difference is, Amber, is, and this is just going to say it, like in all intents and purposes, a woman that's shaped like Ciara, it's not that necessarily we mind seeing it. We don't. But it does invoke a little bit when she is married and she is, her trend of late has been very kind of like she's behaving like a single person, making songs about being an independent woman, telling the ladies they don't need a man, dropping it like it's low. Look, I'm not saying Lizzo has a problem getting men, but she just has a particular, aesthetic that is not as desirable as a Ciara, universally, I'll say.
Yeah, and I'm pretty consistent. So it doesn't matter who you are. I don't care if you're Lizzo, I don't care if you're Ciara, I don't care who you are. Coming out dressed like that and you're married, it says something to me. It speaks a different language to me. So that's the part that I disagree with. That's just my thoughts on it.
Yeah, I hear you guys. Still different thoughts, different opinions. You know what I'm saying? All in all, Russell is your thing. So you got to handle the thing from here on out, bro. So Ciara's your problem, not ours. So we just wanted to have our say because we saw her on the red carpet, and I hope the union stays strong. That's what I'm going to say. Okay, hope the union stays strong. I'm genuinely serious. I'm being serious.
I know you. I know it. It's a look on your face. It's the look on your face. Like,
I just wanted to stay strong. That's what I'm saying. I wanted to stay strong. I don't want a Devin Franklin and Megan Good situation. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I just hope that it's just, I just hope that it's just like it's just her. Do you know what I mean? Rather than it being an issue. And I hope that if he does not have a problem with it, then good. I hope he doesn't have a problem with it, because if he does, he's gonna need to speak up. You know what I mean? I don't want to see that situation. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and I want to just say I do support marriages. So I don't want them to get a divorce or anything like that. I'm just saying the characteristics, what she's doing now, it just seems very familiar in the past. So hopefully, if it's going that way, they can turn it around, because I'm definitely a believer in marriage and the longevity for the rest of your life. So hopefully it works out for them, like you said.
Yeah. I hear that. All right, cool. Thank you guys for participating in the Ciara conversation. Let's shift it to the main conversation today, because the conversation was not about Ciara, but about the fact that should women love men more in relationships? You see, we had a conversation about the men loving women more in relationships, but you know what? I think women should love men more in these relationships, you know? Yeah, because you know what? I feel like when women get the power, they're manipulative with it. Just saying. Yeah, when they know